Let's go to Kendrick, who's on the line in Hartley, Delaware. Kendrick, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Ken, thanks for having me on.
Happy to, man. How can I help?
Well, Ken, I'm in an interesting place in life. I have a question for you that you could possibly step me through.
Okay.
And it's a question about passion. Let me give you a little background. The proximity principle has been very effective for me in my life. I've never known what I've wanted to do, but the fact that people know who Kendrick is has always given me a job, and those jobs have afforded me more opportunity than I would have ever dreamed of. But the interesting place is right now, me and my wife are both believers, and we feel like God is calling us to move to Waco, Texas. So needless to say, to move from Waco, Texas to Waco, Texas from Hartley, Delaware, puts me in a place where there is no proximity principle at this point. They don't know me and I don't know them. So let me give you just a little more background. I do have a purpose statement, and you've been very instrumental in helping me with that. Not knowing what I've wanted to do, God has brought me into two different careers, 15 years, graduated from high school in 99, 15 years of construction experience, built my own house, very hands-on type of guy. And then God gave me the opportunity to get into sales, and I'm currently a sales manager for a solar company working in Maryland and Delaware. Mm-hmm. My challenge, let me ask you, the question is this. I need help wading through the difference between hobby-level passion and a life passion that blesses people. And with this processing moving to Waco, I'm realizing that there's been some limitations in my life and my mindset and how I dream. And a number of different elements that cause that. As a 5-year-old boy, I was sexually abused, and that leads to its own things, but God has brought amazing things from that. Mm-hmm. And also a number of things caused me to fall into a limiting mindset. Mm-hmm. So now that I'm in this place of learning how to dream, you have talked about basketball mm-hmm. quite a bit, mm-hmm. and I love sports. And so when I dream, I see myself, imagine myself in the sports arena, so to speak.
Doing what?
But let's, well, as a boy, it would have been playing baseball. Now, as an adult, I love to cycle. Cycling is a huge passion for me. But let's face it, at 37 years old, I'm not going to be riding in the Tour de France anytime soon.
Is that your question? Is it because you can have a great passion for something like cycling or hunting or golf or painting, and it never be anything more than a little side thing or just something you do as an outlet. And having come from tremendous trauma of sexual abuse, candidly, from what research I've done and reading, a physical activity like that taxes you physically is a tremendous, tremendous help to you emotionally.
Absolutely, Ken. You absolutely get it. You've talked about running and also the stress of work as a sales manager. At times that can be stressful.
Yeah.
I love sales. I actually just hate closing the deal.
Okay, so let's pause. Let's pause this.
Let's
pause this whole conversation because you've given me a lot to try to figure out. The biggest issue is why Waco and what in Waco? So give me the short answer here, because that's going to help us, I think, answer what your question is, which your first question was, how do I know between a hobby level and career level? Well, it's very simple. Can you dedicate a ton of time to it and make really good money at it? If you can't, it's hobby level.
Correct. That answers a lot of questions.
All right. So do you need any instruction or help on this move to Waco, or you know exactly why you're going?
Me and my wife firmly believe that God is calling us out of our comfort zone, and he has a plan for us there. We don't know what that plan is, but we are firmly entrenched. Just some background. We are baby step number 4. So financially, we're in a great place.
Great.
God has blessed us there. So the move part, that's great. I feel very confident.
So you don't have to land something before you get there.
No.
So you're
Nope,
moving.
we
Hold
can
on a
move
second.
there.
You're telling me that you and your wife feel led to go to Waco, Texas, but you don't know why, and you're gonna go. You're gonna go and show up in Waco, Texas, and be unemployed.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Now, I will say this, Ken. I'm in the process of getting ready to put my resume together, which I've never had to do, and I'm going to put it out there, and we're going to see what happens.
Well, wait a second. What do you want to do?
And that would be the part of my question to you is to say, how do I go from always dreaming about hobby level passions to saying, okay, this is what I want my life to do?
Very simple. What do you do better than anything else, Kidner? Give me your top 2 or 3. Quick, go.
Analytics, problem solving, being personable. I'm very hands-on. I'm self-motivated. And those are my
good. What kind of problems?
My top gifting.
What kind of problems do you get fired up about solving? I mean, you see this problem, you go, oh, I can't wait to tackle that. I know how to do it, and I actually want to go solve it.
In construction, it was projects that other people didn't want to build. In sales, it's situations that other people don't want to cherry pick, where you have to work out the intricate details to make it work for the customer.
Got it. Okay. I'm already getting some light here. Now let's just roll through your top passions, and I don't want cycling because that's hobby. I mean work that you've gotten paid to do, a task, a function. I can tell you right now, you got to give me something along the lines of construction because I can hear it in your voice. You love building, solving problems with your head and your hands. Give me the top 2 or 3 tasks that when you're engaged in this work, you feel energized. Go.
And this has always been a very difficult place for me. So I'm going to try to go with it. The things I've enjoyed the most were the situations where I lost myself, was the situations where you didn't know what the outcome was going to be, but you had to deliver on an outcome.
So we got a little bit of a, give me a quick example.
For instance, let's say you have a remodel and you have to tie into it, and the average carpenter didn't want to do it. That's where I shone, where my former boss would just say, Kendrick, this is yours, figure it out.
All right. So stop.
That's where I would lose myself.
Exactly. So this is not difficult. None of this is difficult. None of this is what you think it is, this just mystery that you can't land because you just landed it. You are supposed to use your top talents of the analytical, problem solving. You're very gifted with your hands. So this is that math brain, that ability to see solutions where other people can't. Your ability to take a problem, a renovation nightmare, and your former boss going, Kendrick, you're the guy because you'll come up with a way. You will find a way where others won't find a way. And throw on top of that, you've got great people skills. I think you need to be in the construction business, whether it's home remodeling or, again, being a foreman on a crew where you can bring your knowledge to the crew, but also your people skills to maybe lead a crew. I think I'm just giving you 2 quick examples, but I think your sweet spot is using your problem solving and your handy skills, the ability to build and solve and cut and change and fix and repair. Those are problems. And if you're going to be in that business, you got to have a certain amount of people skills. And then I think when you're not out there fixing problems of a construction, carpentry nature, I think that you're on your bike and with your family. That's what I think. I think you're overthinking this. Sales is not for you. You told me on this call that you like sales, but you hate closing. Well, I got news for you. If you're in sales and you hate closing, you should not be in sales because there is no sale until we close. So
that is correct.
So
what gives
Kendrick,
me what?
Go ahead. No, you go.
What gives me the juice is actually helping people. Solar can be very complicated,
right?
And what gives me the juice is figuring out the complication.
Well, but again, that's not a sales job. That's
an analytical job.
Yes, sir. Well, because that's what a guy does that comes in and looks at my house when I got to hire him to put in a pantry where there wasn't a pantry. I did that when we bought our house 2.5 years ago. Hey, I think there needs to be we want a pantry here, but can we do it? And the guy's got to come in and solve that problem. He's got to analyze, yes, this can be done, and here's how I'm going to do it, and thus this is how much it's going to cost. That's what you love to do. Stop overthinking it and step into who you really are. And a guy with your sense of kindness and empathy, I think you can have a very successful business in Waco and surrounding parts, fixing stuff. And I suspect it would be of a construction or a carpentry nature.